Good morning, happy Vlogmas day 17. I woke up craving cinnamon buns. I swear, I'm not a big fan of any sweet treats. I've never made cinnamon buns. I don't like cinnamon. I don't like how sweet it is, but something is going on and I just need to get this itch out. So I'm walking to my local bodega to pick up milk, butter, and cream cheese. Plus I have my compost. I've got to throw it away and it's just a block away from the bodega, so it's a good excuse for me to get out of the house. It's raining all week. Look at this weather. Anyways, I don't like it when I get sick. So in my neighborhood in Brooklyn, we compost and we do have these compost bins, and there's an app, it's called NYC Compost, and you just need to turn on your Bluetooth and you'll be able to open the door. Some neighborhoods don't have these compost bins and you've got to bring them to local composting sites such as farmers markets, and that's all I know. But my previous apartment, we didn't have compost, so yeah, we just threw everything in the trash. But yeah, this one is nice. It's kind of like a really good excuse for me to go on my neighborhood walk every other day. How convenient. They have milk, butter, and cream cheese all at once. Hi guys, welcome back. I am in the kitchen today because we are making cinnamon buns. As I've told you at the beginning of this video that I am not a fan of sweet desserts. I don't bake. I would consider myself as a freestyle cook, but I'm not a baker. But I do love turning flour into dough. I love working with dough, so I would prefer making bread, savory, baked goods over anything that's sweet. Personally, I think cinnamon buns are way too sweet, and oftentimes they are too dry and it's really hard to get that soft, slightly chewy and not as sweet cinnamon buns. I don't think I've ever come across a good version. If you watched my vlog a couple of vlogs ago, I did stop by a bakery in the East Village called Honey's and wanting to try their cinnamon buns because those somehow look so good in photos. And I walked out empty-handed because they were out for the day, but it's my mission. Maybe this week I'm going to go there really early and try to get my hands on it. Before I attempt making this, as a disclaimer, I don't bake. This is my first time. I did a little bit of Google research. I found there's a really popular recipe from Ambitious Kitchen that uses bread flour. However, I came across Claire's Saffitz because there's a video and there's also written instruction on New York Times. And again, I also happen to have these Biscoff cookies. I don't have a lot, I already have 2 packs. I don't like cookies, especially these, so I'm just going to use it today to make the filling. Again, that's the whole reason why I'm going for Claire's Saffitz. I've used or have tried multiple Claire Saffitz bread recipes before. They always turn out great. I also happen to have this incredible stand mixer. I don't bake a lot, and for that reason I don't use this as often as I would like, but I still pull it out every once in a while. It is a Christmas gift that my aunt and my cousins got me a couple years ago. My baby, I just love looking at it. It looks great on the counter. Hopefully I will end up liking it. Mission for this week, I'm gonna make my own version and then we'll try the legit version at one of the famous bakeries in Manhattan, maybe sometime this week, so you've got to stay tuned. I've got all the ingredients laid out. I screenshotted the recipe because for New York Times, you can only access an article a day, and I had to try other ways to get access to the written recipes. But for the dough, you need 240 grams of whole milk. I picked up this small bottle of whole milk at my local bodega. I don't have a microwave, so I'm gonna heat up a cup of milk in this little saucepan. I'm just gonna slowly bring this to a boil on my stove. Okay, so you're supposed to make this roux-like mixture that is also called the tangjong. If you made any milk bread, Japanese milk bread before, it's kind of like a similar concept. It's supposed to improve the dough texture and help keep it really moist. Here I have 34 grams of AP flour. This is for the roux. I'm going to wait until the milk is kind of warm up. 58 grams of ice cold water. I'm gonna put this in the freezer just so it could get cold. 3 large eggs cold from the refrigerator. I just took these out. 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast, 50 grams of granulated sugar. I only have light brown sugar and I think it should be fine. 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt, 116 grams or 1 whole stick of unsalted butter. We'll cut this into 1-inch slices. I also took a little notes after watching Claire's video on YouTube. Step 1 is to add about 1/3 of a cup of steaming milk into this stand mixer, and then the rest, 2/3 of a cup, you're supposed to add the 1/4 of a cup of flour and create that roux-like mixture on the stove. I have my hot steaming milk, and I'm gonna add the flour into here and mix it with my favorite spatula. You can also use a whisk. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat on for a little bit. I'm adding the hot roux into the milk. 1/4 of a cup of ice cold water. This water, I just took it out from the freezer. And this is supposed to help kind of cool down the milk and the roux mixture. And then 3 cold eggs. Mix this on low. Add in 540 grams of AP flour or 4 cups of flour. 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. It's been about 5 minutes. I am going to add in our sugar and salt. In the video or recipe, Claire said to mix this for at least 15-20 minutes. I'm gonna time myself, 15 minutes. Add my butter into slices. Now this is cool at room temperature butter. It's not too cold. It's not melty either. Butter. We have about 8 more minutes of mixing, but look at this amazing dough. It's slowly coming together. I'm going to use this leftover butter to coat this bowl. It's been mixing for about 15 minutes after I added the sugar and the salt. I'm going to scrape off the dough down again, and then we'll mix for probably another 5 minutes so the dough is pulling off on the side. Use a bench scraper. Wow, the dough is super elastic. Our dough has been mixing for 20 minutes now. I'm just going to scrape off everything, move it into a butter bowl and let it rise. So the idea that you're supposed to prep this the night before, let the dough chill in the fridge overnight. That helps with the texture and flavor. But I'm just going to let it rise for a couple hours. I'm gonna let this rise at room temp for 1 hour. And you just basically fold the dough into itself. My apartment heat radiator is set at around 70 degrees. I'm just gonna leave it rise at room temp. Let it sit. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the filling. So there's a filling that is the brown cookie sugar butter mixture that goes in between the roll, and then there's an icing part. So yeah, I took out more butter. This recipe needs a lot of butter, but anyways, you need a stick and a half or 170 grams of unsalted butter at room temp, and then 116 grams of speculoos cookies. I only have 2 packs of these Lotus Biscoff cookies. So speculoos are spiced shortbread cookies that originated in Belgium and are also popular in the Netherlands and Germany. Then 100 grams of demerara sugar, 1 teaspoon of diamond crystal kosher salt, a tablespoon of ground cinnamon. So here's everything all well blended. I'm going to add in our butter. Again, it's a stick and a half. Okay, so I got it into kind of like a paste finally, but this metal spoon helps a lot. For icing, you would need 113 grams of cream cheese at room temp, 110 grams of confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and then 85 grams of unsalted butter at room temperature. I'm going to use this spatula spoon to mix our cream cheese and confectioner's sugar. 85 grams of unsalted butter. Let's check on our dough progress because it's been an hour. It definitely has risen up a bit. Definitely supple. Okay, I'm going to use my Silpat silicone mat and place it on top of my mousse board. We'll just flour this. I've got my baking tray in the 9x9 inch all buttered up, and then also this aluminum foil all butter in the inside. I'm going to use the bench scraper to take out our dough. I do think it's ready. I looked up some recipe also. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour for this dough to kind of almost double in size. I'm going to roll it out into a rectangle shape. Ooh. Okay, I have this 3 feet ruler, super long, so I'm going to measure it out. 14. Okay, so 14 is about the width of the inner rim of this baking sheet, and then 9 inch. Interesting. So I don't even need to measure as long as I roll it out to the exact dimension of the baking sheet. This is so satisfying. Okay. It's okay if it's a little bit uneven, I would say, because it's basically our first time. This offset spatula to spread our filling. I panicked a little bit, but the butter is melting and it makes it a lot easier to spread now. And I think it's looking pretty good. I do know that the dough is pretty uneven. There's like a big lump or bump here, but I'm not too worried. I'm not aiming for perfection. I just want to test out if this turns out good. I'm going to try my best to kind of tuck and roll like how you would roll egg rolls. But again, my dough feels pretty soft. I think I should kind of refrigerate it before cutting into it. I'm going to use a little bit more flour. Not too much though. Yeah, there's a lot of volume here, which I can obviously manipulate and pull out the dough at the end. This is so exciting. It turns out to be a lot longer than I anticipated, but that's totally fine. Okay, I'm going to try my best to move things back into this sheet. Okay. Whew. Why did it get so long? Just kind of lightly flour. Then I'll stick this into the freezer for about 5 minutes or so. I'll leave the seam towards the bottom. I have taken this out from the freezer. It has definitely hardened up a little bit. I have my butter bread knife. I don't have any fish wire, but I thought about using this string from my tea bag to cut the dough. So about 17 inches, 17 divided by 9 gives us almost 2 inches each. I'm going to try to use this wire first. We'll test it at home, see if it actually works. It's just a piece of cotton thread from the tea bag. Lift it up a little bit and then we'll make a cut. Let's hope it's going to work. Okay. This. So I've got to arrange this. Just moving a few pieces around. So I think I'm gonna flatten this and then place it at the bottom so then this piece get a little bit of height support. I'm gonna do the same thing for this first piece that I cut out as well, like no one would know. Okay, hoping they will rise up and fill up the space, but look at this. Cover and let it rise. This is the second rise, and I'm going to catch up with work and we'll come back in a little bit. We'll cover this with a cloth. There are still some butter clumps that I could see, so I'm just gonna do this. I don't know if over mixing icing is a bad thing. Anyways, I just took a Tylenol because my body is so achy right now and I just want to lay down. And I know Mondays usually are slow days for me, and it's okay because it's December and there are not a lot of emails that I have to tend to, or the projects are pretty much finished. And it's also rainy Monday and it's so dark out now. I initially wanted to go to the farmer's market today, but I think I'm going to go on Wednesday. Wednesday is usually the best day for farmer's market. Middle of the week, people are just in a better mood than the start of the week like Monday today. There's just been a lot of new bakery opening in New York that you keep being fed that kind of content when you log into TikTok. Then I keep having to like mark them and I'm like, I've got to go. But I always wake up so late that everything at these bakeries are always sold out, or they would be closed by the time I get there. It's so funny. But yeah, I think the icing is ready. I'm just gonna go work on my computer for a little bit. Maybe we'll edit an outfit TikTok because I'm due. I have to get that up. I'll check back with you in a little bit. It's been about an hour. I want to show you the progress. They do fluffed up a little bit. Just gonna go ahead and bake our dough because, okay, in the instruction it says if you press into the dough and it leaves like a slight indentation, that means it's ready to bake and you don't want this to proof too long. So I'm going to seal this baking tray off with this aluminum foil, like seal it tight at the edge. Oven is preheating at 350 and you're supposed to bake it for 15 minutes covered. Remove the cover and then bake for another 20 minutes. I've got my icing here and I was correct about the fact that you want to kind of mix it up. You can use a whisk to mix it up and start introducing more air into it so then it's more fluffy. Hey guys, our cinnamon rolls are ready. I'm going to take them out from the oven. Whew. It smells incredible. Oh my gosh. I don't want to set off the alarm because I'm going to have to take a photo and then I'll be right back. But look at this, how full. The only thing I wish that I did differently was to leave the parchment paper a little bit longer so then I can lift this up off the pan. It's really, really hot, so I know I've got to take it off from the baking pan and then we'll add icing on top. But oh my gosh, I'm so excited. What I wished I did differently was to roll out the dough a lot more. So then we have more of a swirling spiral pattern going on. But this is equally as beautiful. Guys, this looks insane. I'm going to take out the corner piece and give this to dry. Ooh, it's pulling off from... Wow. You guys, look at this, how fluffy. Okay, I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I'm just gonna eat it hot. I know you're supposed to wait for it to cool down, but I'm just gonna dig into it. Look at this. I wish I rolled the dough out a lot thinner and bigger, so then when I rolled it up, there are more spiral, there are more layers, and it's more fun to eat as you peel away the layers. But this is very soft, fluffy, and light. The corner pieces are always my favorite because you get a lot of texture. There's like crispy layers. This is the cookie cinnamon layer. The icing is actually not too sweet. It's so tasty. Oh my gosh. The inner layer is also my favorite because you get all of the soft side. Make it, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.